In this part, we are going to talk about DialogFlow and also chatbots. Now, before creating or building our chatbots, now let's talk about chatbots. Now, what are chatbots? So, chatbots are computer programs that simulates and process human conversation, either written or spoken, allowing humans to interact with digital devices as if they were communicating with a real person. So if you have heard about Siri or IBM Watson, now the basic problem that these bots try to solve is to become an intermediary and help users become more productive. They do this by allowing the user to worry less about how information will be retrieved and about the input format that may be needed to attain specific data. Now for building chatbots, we are going to use DialogFlow. Maybe there will be different platforms that you can use, but we're going to use DialogFlow. Now, first of all, what's DialogFlow? So if you see Google Cloud, now it's related to Google DialogFlow, and it's a natural language understanding platform that makes it easy to design and integrate a conversational user interface into your mobile app, web application, device, bot, interactive voice response system, and so on. Using DialogFlow, you can provide new and engaging ways for users to interact with your product. Now, DialogFlow can analyze multiple types of input from your customers, including text or audio inputs, like from a phone or voice recording. It can also respond to your customers in a couple of ways, either through text or with synthetic speech. Now you can see that for right now, if you see, DialogFlow provides two different virtual agent services, and we have DialogFlow CX, and it provides an advanced agent type suitable for large or very complex agents. Now this is new, and this is created new, and another one is DialogFlow ES, and it provides the standard agent type suitable for small and simple agents. Now we are interested in this, and you can just click on this, and after that this page will be opened, and now you can click on go to DialogFlow ES console. You need to open that. Obviously first you need to create an account. I have already created an account, and now this is our DialogFlow, and you can see this is the interface of DialogFlow. Right now we're not going to talk about these concepts like training or, for example, intents. We'll talk about these concepts in the later video, but this is the interface of DialogFlow. And also, if you see in here, you can see that DialogFlow CX, it's new. We are not interested in this. We are going to use this. Before building our chatbot, now let's talk about some main concepts. So the first one is agent or DialogFlow agent. What's that? The agent is essentially the bot itself. Think of the agent as a small kid. You have to teach him how to communicate. It's your responsibility to create the bot's personality and manage what it can understand and how it responds. So you can create a DialogFlow agents from here. So right now, if you see, I have two agents, test and also my agent. But you can click on this create new agent to create agent. So after that, you need to give the agent name. For example, I'm going to just give it my chat agent like this. And after doing this, you can click on create. So now we are waiting for the agent, and it will be created. So now you can see that our agent is created, and you can see that it is my chat agent. And right now you can see that we have two intents in here. So we have default fallback intent and also default welcome intent. Now, first of all, what are intents? Now, intent is whatever the user says and what do you do after the user says, or when user want to interact with a chatbot. Also, we can say that intent is what he or she is asking from chatbot. For example, if a user said to chatbot that book me a movie ticket, or for example, book me a flight ticket, or we can say that, for example, please give me information about Python. Now, these are called intents. and whatever we ask from the bot and whatever response we receive, that's called intent. And right now you can see that we have two default intent, and this is fallback intent, and also this is welcome intent. And every intent, if I click on this intent, we have some training phrases. And you can see about training phrases, this is the information. When a user says something similar to a training phrase, DialogFlow might match it to the intent. You don't have to create an exhaustive list. DialogFlow will fill out the list with similar expressions. Now, these are some phrases for the default fallback intent. For example, I didn't get that, or I missed what you said. For example, if we ask from the DialogFlow something that's not in our intent, it will say that can you say that again? For example, in here, if I so in here you can try this. So if I write it like this, so this is the, you can see that, sorry, can you say that again? And if you see in here, we have this phrases in here. Sorry, could you say that again, or can you say that again? And so this is if I write, for example, something more, and you see that we are receiving another. So sorry, I didn't get that. Can you rephrase? And so now the default welcome intent is triggered whenever a user starts a new conversation with your bot. And the default fallback intent that right now we are in the default fallback intent, it's triggered when the bot is unable to match the user's input with any intent in your agent. So for example, if I say hello in here, I will receive a response from the chatbot. Good day, what can I do for you today? It's because if I go to the intent and if I go to the default welcome intent, in here you can see that we have some training phrases, and these are the, if I say, for example, if I say, for example, hi, hey, hello, I will receive these responses. How are you doing? Hello. For example, if I say hey, and like this, and you can see good day, what can I do for you today? I can remove this, for example. Also, let me just show you one more thing. You can try it from here. Also, you can try from the integration. You can see that there are different places that you can integrate with different, for example, technologies. And in here, so you can see we have Messenger from Facebook, Line, Telegram. So let me just click on Web Demo, and I can enable this. After that, click on this. And from here, so now in this section, we can try our agent. So now in here, if I say hello, and I should receive the response. So you can see greeting, how I can assist you. If I write something, and there will be default fallback. Now when I say hello, it will trigger the default welcome fallback. And if I say something that are not in my intent, and it will trigger the default fallback intent. Now let's just let me just go to the intents, and from here let me bring some change to default welcome intent. So I'm not going to bring to the training phrases, but for the responses, let me just remove these from here. For example, in here I can add my own, what I can do for you, or like this, or we can just say let me just say, for example, how are you, like this. Okay, so now let me just save this, and now you can see intent saved, and it will train. And after that, let me just refresh this. So now in here, if I say, for example, hello, so what I can do for you, now this is the response that we have created in here. So if I say hi, and how are you, and if I say something like this, and one more time, because it's not in our intent. So now let's create our own intent. So these are the default intents. Let me create, you can click on this create intent, and after that you can give the name of the intent. For example, I can just give it DG intent and click on save. So now our DG intent is created, and you can see that we have training phrases. So first we need to add some training phrases in here. So let me just say, for example, what is Django? And also, for example, I can add Django. So now these are the training phrases that a user will ask from the chatbot, for example. After that, we need to add responses that chatbot will add for the user. So you can come down and we have text responses. So let me just say Django is Python web framework, and you can add more responses. So let me just say Django is used for full stack web development and building REST API like this. And after that, we can click on save. So now intent saved, and let's refresh this page. So now if I say hello, how are you, it's telling me. And if I say what is Django, Django is a Python web framework. And if I say, for example, Django, and you can see Django is used for full stack web development and building REST API. And if I add something that's not registered in my intent, I will receive, for example, I didn't get that. So you can add as many as intent that you want. For example, let me just add another intent from here. Let me click on this and let me just call it React, for example, intent, and let me save this. And after that, we can add our training phrases in here. What is React JS? And we can just say React or React JS, and in here I can add response. So React JS is a JavaScript library, and it is used for building front end like this. And let's save this. Now intent saved. After that, we can just refresh our page. So now if I say hello, how are you? And for example, if I say what is Django, I am receiving the response from Django. Now if I say what is React JS, React JS is JavaScript library and it's used for building front end. If I say React, I will receive React, this JavaScript library. If I say Django, I should see Django, and if I say React JS, I'm receiving React JS. And if I add something like this, sorry, what was that? So like this, you can create your own intent in DialogFlow. In this video, we're going to talk about follow-up intent. Now, to demonstrate follow-up intent, we are going to create another intent in here. So let me just create intent, and I'm going to just call the intent, for example, let me just call it programming books, and click on save. So now let me just add some training phrases. For example, I'm going to just say I want a programming book. And after adding this, now I need to add a response in here. For example, I'm going to just say, are you sure you want a programming book? And after that, click on save. Okay. So now in here, if I say this, for example, if a user asks from chatbot that I want a programming book, let me just say I want a programming book, and if I hit enter, so you can see that are you sure you want a programming book? If I say yes, you can see that nothing happens and it's telling me that sorry, could you say that again? Now to handle this problem, we can use follow-up intent. So now if I click on the intent, and in the programming box, you can see that we have add follow-up intent. Let me click on this. So there are different follow-up intent. We are going to use yes. Okay, now the follow-up intent is created. Let me just click on this. And then here you can see that if the user say, for example, yes, why not, yes I do, exactly, what response we are going to say for example for the user. Now for that we can just say okay, and okay, I will give you a book, like this. Okay, so now let's save this, and now if I refresh this time if I say, for example, first I'm going to just say hello, and after that just I'm going to say I want a programming book, and it's telling me that are you sure you want a programming book. If I say, for example, yes, and you can say okay, I will give you a book. Now let's also create another intent, for example, for canceling. For example, I say that I don't want a book, I want to cancel, for example, the book or the book author. Now for that, let's just create another intent, and let me just say cancel book, and we can just save this, and then here we can add the training phrases. For example, if I say to the chatbot that I want to cancel the programming book, and after that the text response, for example, will be are you sure to cancel the programming book. Okay, so now let me just save this. Okay, so now for example, if I say this, I want to cancel the programming book, I want to cancel the programming book, and I'm receiving are you sure to cancel the programming book. If I say yes, nothing will happen because we need to add a follow-up intent for this also. Now in the cancel, and here we can add a follow-up intent, and yes, for example, if the user say yes, and what response will be. So for example, yes, now these are the training phrases, and then the text response, I can just say, for example, okay, now we can just say the book is cancelled or whatever you want. So for example, I can just say giving programming book is cancelled. Let's save this. So now let me refresh this. Okay, so first I want to just say hello. I'm going to just say I want a programming book. Are you sure you want a programming book? I'm going to just say yes. Okay, now if I say for example the phrase that we have in here, now I can just say I want to cancel the programming book. Are you sure do you want to cancel? Yes. Now giving programming book is cancelled. Now like this you can add follow-up intent. In this video we are going to talk about entities. So if you see in here we have entities. Now intents have metadata, and that's called entities. So for example, if we are saying I want to buy a book today, now in here buying a book is intent and today is entity. Or if I say I have bought a book yesterday, now buying a book is intent and also yesterday is entity. So we can say that entities are DialogFlow mechanism to extract and identify useful data from users' input. There are two types of entity. We have system entity and also we have custom or developer entity. So now let's create another intent in here. I'm going to just click on the intent, and let me just for example, you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to just call it buy book, and let me save this. So first we are going to talk about system entity, and there are some built-in entities in DialogFlow that you can use. Now so we need to add some training phrases. Now in here if I say please buy me a book for today, if I hit enter, So now you can see that today is a system entity. You can just say sys.datetime. Now how you can get this? So now in the training phrases in here, for example, in this section, in the training or text response, and not training phrases. So this is our training phrases, and the responses in here, I could just say I have, for example, bought the book for, I can use $, and in here we need to give the name of the entity, and that's the value of the entity, and that's date time, or the parameter name we can get. So date time. Let me just save this. Okay, so now if I refresh this, and if I say please buy me a book for today, and if I hit enter, so you can see that I have bought the book for, you can see that this is the today date. And so for example, if I add another in here, so I can just say, or we can just say please buy me a book for tomorrow. You can just add it like this, for tomorrow. Now tomorrow is misspelled. Tomorrow from New York. From New York, like this. Okay. So now we can see that tomorrow is the date time entity and the New York is the geocity. Now, now in the text response in here, I can just say I have, for example, bought the book for, I can just say date time and from $geocity. Let's save this. Okay, now it's saved, and let me refresh this. And if I say please buy me a book for tomorrow from New York, like this, and let me make it correct, tomorrow, like this. So now we can see I have bought the book for this, this is the tomorrow date, and this is from New York. So like this, you can work with built-in entities. So if I click on the entities, and you can see that for the custom right now we don't have, and if I click on the system, so you can see that these are the two system entities that we have used. So we have learned that how you can use system entity in DialogFlow. Now let's talk about custom entities. For example, if I say I want a Django book or I want a Python book. Now Django and Python, these are custom entities and these are not built-in entities for the DialogFlow. Let's learn that how we can create custom entities. So we can just click on entities, and in here, so we can click on custom and create entity. You can give the name of the entity. For example, I'm going to just give it book. And after that, let me just say Django. So you can add the synonymous. So I'm going to just leave it Django, and we can just say React.js and Python and also JavaScript. Now let's save these. So now we have some custom entities in here. After that, let's create another intent in here, and I can just say let me create an intent, and let me just call it, for example, pro book, and we can save this. Okay, so now in the training phrases, if I say, for example, please give me Django book, you can see that the Django is a custom entity and the parameter name is book, and this is Django. Let me just say please give me React.js book. So this is the custom entity. Please give me Python book. You can see the Python, and please give me JavaScript book. Now you can see this is JavaScript. Let's add response. I can give you, and I can just say $book. I can give you. So this will be response from the chatbot. Let's save this. Let's refresh this. So now in here, if I say hello and how are you, if I say for example, please give me Django book. So I can give you Django. Please give me React JS book. So you can see I can give you React JS. Please give me Python book. And you can see that we are receiving I can give you Python. And also if I say Django, so this is from our another intent. Django is a Python web framework. And if I say React JS, React JS is a JavaScript library and it's used for building frontend. So like this you can create custom entities, and also you can build a simple chatbot using DialogFlow. So we have our chatbot and DialogFlow. Now let's learn that how we can integrate this. So now there are different ways that you can use, and the easiest way is that we are going to use communicate. So we want to integrate our DialogFlow chatbot with the communicate, and after that we can use communicate widget. So first of all, we need to open our agent in DialogFlow, and after that click on the settings. And from here, we want to just, and here you can see project ID, we can just click on my chat agent. So now let's just wait for opening the Google Cloud. Okay, and now let's click on this, and after that we can just go to the API service and credentials. So now let's just wait. So in the credentials in here, you need to create a service account. So let me just remove my previous service account because I want to show you that how you can create that. So let me just delete this, and okay, so now it is deleted. Okay, so now in the service account we can click on manage service account, and after that we can just click on create service account. We can just give it a name, so for example my service. And after that, click on create and continue, and we can add a role of owner and continue. And now after that, we need to create our JSON key. So now it's updating policy. Okay, now in here we don't need to add anything, we can just click on done. So now let's click on the service that we have created, and in this service we want to create our JSON key, and after that we are going to upload that in the communicate. So now let's just wait. Okay, now in here we can click on keys, and in here we can create our add key, create new JSON, create. Okay, so now you can see that this is created, and now let's just add this in our communicate. So we can just open our communicate, and I have already created an account in here. So in this section, so you can see that if you go to the bot integration, so in here, we are going to use DialogFlow, and I can just integrate another bot. And from here we need to add our account key, and let's just choose this, and after adding this we can click on save and proceed. And now we need to give a name, so let me just say my chat agent, for example. You can just name it whatever you want, and let's choose this avatar and save and proceed. We can finish bot setup. Okay, now it's created. We have created my chat agent. Now we can try it out. So we can try it in here, or we can just copy the link So let me just copy this link. For example, we can just do it in here also. So now let's just wait. So now you can see that we have our my chat agent in here, and you can see how are you. If I say what is Django, and Django is used for full stack web development, what is React.js? So you can see React.js is JavaScript library and it's used for building front end. And if I say I want Django book, I can give you Django. I want, or we can say, for example, please give me React, or we can say, okay, let me just say React.js book. So you can see that I can give you React.js, and if I say, for example, something that's not in our agent, and you can see that I didn't get that, can you say that again? Now you can see that our chatbot is working, and there is no problem. And as we have done this in the DialogFlow, so in here it's working as expected, and we our chatbot. So we have created our chatbot. Now it's time to integrate this with Vue Js. Now, first of all, what's Vue Js? So if you see v3.vuejs, so we're going to use Vue.js 3. And what's Vue Js? Vue pronounced like Vue, it's a progressive framework for building user interfaces. Unlike other monolithic frameworks, Vue is designed from the ground up to be incrementally adoptable, and the core library is focused on the Vue layer only. So I have some videos on Vue.js, especially integration of Vue 3 with React, with Django, Django REST framework, and also Flask. You can check that in my YouTube channel. So now you need to install, first you need to install Vue.js, especially Vue 3, v3.vuejs.org. So there are different ways that you can use. We are using CLI. So first you need to install CLI globally, so you can use yarn, or you can use npm, so you can just use npm install-g, it means globally at Vue CLI. So after installation of the Vue CLI, now you can create your Vue.js application. Now I'm using Visual Studio Code, so I have already installed. Now in here, if I say Vue, let me just say Vue, and so now you can see that there are different options that you can use. Now for creating of the project, you can use create. So it create a new project. For example, in here you can just say Vue create, and after that you need to give your project name, for example, Chatbot. So I already have created my project, and now this is my Chatbot project. This is my src folder, asset folder. I have components, and this is just simply a Vue component. And also I have app.vue and main.js. So this is my main entry point. Now let's run this Vue.js app. So in here, first I need to change the directory to the chatbot. And after that, I can just say npm run serve. So now let's just wait for this. Okay, so now you can see that this is our development server. Let me just copy this. And after that, I can just paste it in here. And you can see, welcome to your Vue.js app. Now we need to remove some codes. First, you can see that in here we have welcome Vue.js. Now this hello world.vue is it's a component, and this component is imported in our app.vue. So you can see import hello world, and here we are using hello world in this section. Now we are going to create a new component. Let me just call it, for example, chat.vue. And we can create our boilerplate code. So this is our template, our script, and also our style, even though we are not going to use style in here, but we can add that. Now in the template, I can create an h1 tag like this, and let me just say this is our chatbot. And after that, now let's import that in our app.vue. So in here, in our app.vue, I can just say import chat from components, and that is chat. So now we don't need this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Also, let me in here import the chat. And now we can add that in this section. So chat. Now let me just save this. We are receiving an error. Hello world is defined but never used. Let me remove this because we don't need that. And now we have, this is our chatbot. So now let's implement our chatbot. First, we are going to open our communicate. After that, we can just go to the onboarding. And from here, we need to get the chatbot widget and add that to our Vue.js. And we need to add that in our mounted lifecycle hook. So now we can just click on this, and from here we can copy this. And in this section, so in the chat.vue, so this is our script, and in here, for example, you can create your so right now, because we're not going to use any method in here, let me just add that like this, and we can add our mounted. So this is lifecycle hook in the Vue.js. So now I can paste this in here. Let me remove this and let me remove this, and after that I'm going to just save this. So now let's refresh our Vue.js app. So now this is our chat widget. We can just click on this. So if I say hi, what I can do for you, I can just say what is Django, what is React.js, and for example, I can just say I want programming book. Are you sure you want programming book? Yes. Okay, I will give you a book. Now I want to change that. I don't want. No, I want to cancel the book. Are you sure to cancel the programming book? Yes. So giving programming book is cancelled. So like this, you can create chatbot, and after that you can integrate that with Vue.js applications.